Hey, how's it going? Charles here from Fine Tune SEO. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what is SEO metadata and how you can optimize your SEO metadata to ensure that your Shopify or e-commerce store is consistently ranking on the first page of Google for relevant keywords for your business. So, first things first, what is SEO metadata? So, metadata and meta tags are basically elements that provide information about a web page to search engines and web browsers. Now, there's two main SEO metadata elements that we need to be concerned about, and we want to make sure that we have properly optimized on our pages, which is firstly your meta title, which is also referred to as your SEO title, your title tag, and even in Shopify, they call it your page title. This is basically all the same thing, which is related to your meta title. And basically with your meta title, if you search for any keyword on Google or any product or service on Google, as you scroll down, you'll see the different listings. The blue links that you see within Google search, that is basically your meta title, okay? Your SEO meta title. And the second metadata element that we need to be looking at is your meta description, which is basically underneath your meta title is some black smaller font text, which is your meta description. So now we know what the two elements are that we need to focus on. What I'm also going to do is quickly show you how you can access those in individual pages in your Shopify store, so you know where to actually go in and optimize those two metadata elements. So I'm just going to head over to Shopify, and if we just go over to this, I'm just in this example site here. We're going to click on one of these products. So, if you run a Shopify store, you're probably very familiar with this screen that I'm showing you here. You've obviously got your title here. You've got your description and various content on your page, along with pricing, inventory, shipping. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see this search engine listing section. Now, if this has not been filled in, these areas will be blank. But in this case, they have been. So they've been somewhat, the person here has inputted that data in. But I can see here that just by looking at it, that there's certainly work here to be done in terms of optimizing this particular page. But if you're looking to basically optimize the individual meta titles and descriptions, you just need to click on this edit button here underneath search engine listings, and then your page title, as I mentioned, is your meta title. So you can just fill in that information there to write out your meta title, and then your meta description is here. And then once you've basically filled in that information with hopefully a nice new optimized keyword focused meta title and description, you just need to click the save button down here in the bottom right corner. So that's just give you an idea of where you can find your titles and descriptions within your product and collection pages in Shopify. Now, a few common mistakes that I see e-commerce stores making when it comes to their titles and descriptions. Firstly is they don't actually optimize their titles and descriptions at all. There is some descriptive text potentially on those pages already, but they're not properly optimized and keyword focused. Secondly, the metadata fields have just been completely left empty. Third, I often see as well is basically that they've just copied across the copy that the manufacturer has sent them and used that as their meta title and description, which again is not really properly optimized. And then finally, often I see the meta descriptions are too long, so they're cut off. There is a character limit, or the titles are often too short, so they've not used the full available character limit to them to properly optimize their titles and also their descriptions. Now, just going on to some optimization tips for you here. So if we start with our meta titles, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you've done your keyword research and you're mapping a kind of main targeted primary keyword that you want to focus on for the particular page that you're optimizing, and include that within your meta title. Now, what I would also do is, I've included this here as well, is include your primary keyword towards the beginning of your title. That is a kind of best practice. And I found from my experience, the closer you're able to get your targeted primary keyword at the beginning of your title, the better the chance you have of ranking higher up the first page of Google. And I'd also be reverse engineering what your top competitors' meta titles and descriptions are as well. So if you want to rank for a particular keyword, the first thing that I would be doing is going over to Google and searching on Google and seeing what the top 3 to 5 organic ranked listings are and websites are, and then seeing if there's any similarities between the meta titles and descriptions, and optimizing your own unique titles and descriptions, and using inspiration from those top listed websites. Using the meta titles and descriptions that they have, and creating your own unique versions, basically. So just, we don't want to copy those your competitors, but we certainly want to be taking inspiration to see what the top ranked websites are currently doing for their titles and descriptions as well. Finally, if you have space at the end of your meta title, because there is a character limit in terms of how many characters you can use for your meta title, I would try and include your brand name at the end as well. So that's going to help you rank for more branded search queries as well. If there isn't space, then just remove it. That's not too much of an issue anyway. And, in most cases, you should be ranking in the top spots for your brand name anyway. So it's not always needed. In terms of your character limit and how many characters you could use for your meta titles, between 40 and 60 is within the range. Google will change this often, but at the moment, from my experience, it's between around 40 and 60, and I would go towards the higher end of that number. So moving on to your meta descriptions and some optimization tips here. So first and foremost, you want to make them descriptive in terms of describing what is on the page. You really want to be clear about, what it is the product that you're selling, or describing the collection. So what are the products within that collection, and making sure that you've got a full sentence for your meta description and it's not just a few words. Secondly, use your descriptions as your product sales pitch or your hook. You want to try and entice people to click on your particular link when they're scrolling through Google search. And click-through rate is a ranking factor in itself. So the more clicks that you can get and encourage users to actually click on your links, the higher chance that you have of your page over time ranking higher up that first page of Google. Thirdly, I would always include a call to action. So at the end of your descriptions, you could put things like shop today, buy now, explore more. These are all kind of language and terminology to try and encourage people to click on your particular links. And then finally, making sure that you're including the main targeted primary keyword that you want to go after and rank for that particular page, and include any secondary keywords and supporting keywords that relate to that primary keyword as well. And in terms of your character limit, you've got about 150 to 160 characters that you can use for your meta descriptions. So that kind of gives you a breakdown of basically what it is SEO metadata is, the two most important metadata elements on your page, your meta titles and your meta descriptions, and some optimization tips for your meta titles and your meta descriptions.